Okay everybody, welcome back to Captain Equine. Today we're going to do sort of a tutorial-like video. I'm going to show y'all some defensive ways to treat horse wounds. So for him, he has a cut on his leg, not this leg, the leg in the back. It's right here, and it slices his heel bulb there. So obviously that means when applying medicine, the risk of getting kicked is very real. It's very real. He's tried it a couple times because he's terrified of sprays, and he stayed at the vet until he got to where he could use sprays. So we now have to treat him. So the first thing you're going to need for our first technique is a halter and whatever spray thing you are using to treat that back leg. This does work best. This technique works best for sprays in general. He's trying to get me to itch his back. But I'm gonna go grab the tripod first so y'all can watch. And he's gonna itch it like a jerk. Before I fully get started, obviously there's going to be some wound showing. I'm gonna try and make it not very graphic, but it's a pretty bad cut. He stuck his foot through a tin wall, so it's pretty bad. So if you're sensitive to blood and all that sort of stuff, this is your warning to go ahead and stop watching. Okay, you do not need a lead rope for this, so on the side that he's going to do it, I'm going to grab right here on his halter. I'm going to spin him in a circle until he stands still, which he will eventually. It might take a while. Or so. Now, the reason why I'm grabbing onto his halter is because if he decides to kick, I can grab him and I can spin his butt away from me, and that allows me to be protected. Now his wound's all sprayed, so we're done with that. The next thing I'm going to do is I need to brush off the back of his wound. So I'm going to go ahead and do this technique where I'm going to fake grooming him, and then I'm going to brush off the back of that wound with this soft brush. Obviously, if your horse has a super sensitive wound, this will not work well, but he does not currently. It's basically healed. It just needs skin. So yeah, this works well for him. So what you're going to do is you're going to just groom him like normal. And on each leg, you are going to do a special job of brushing on the inside, outside, brushing the entirety of the foot, and making sure that you're just doing it repetitively on each and every leg so that he doesn't think anything special is going to happen on the leg that you're working on. So just every single foot. Then once it's time, you also want to make sure you're brushing the inside of the foot, because this one, for me, I have to brush the inside. And then I'm going to brush off that wound and do it over and over and over again, making sure to watch his signs. So if he starts to get pinned back ears, I'm obviously going to take a break and brush the foot next to him. And also a little tip here, it's not really necessary, but just so I can show our vet, I'm going to stop filming and take photos so she can see how the progress of the wound is going. But yeah, that's what you do here to get that cleaned off. It's honestly super simple. Went ahead and I finished taking my photos. I just wanted to go ahead and reiterate that if you have a sensitive wound, or if your horse isn't so in love with grooming, Mac will come and just push himself against me so I can groom him. So this technique works really well with him, but it might not work the best with other horses. Also follow vet's instructions, obviously, so if they say to hose it down or whatever, then hose it down. This is just the way I do it with Mac. So if you have a different situation, you have a different situation. Don't follow this segment. Next up, we are going to spray him using the exact same technique that I used beforehand on the back of his leg. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the opposite halter size, and we're going to spin him and do it until I can get into a position where I can spray him. You could be spinning there for 20 minutes. Mac knows what's going to happen, so he tends to do it slow.
Also, that's the brand we're using, if any of y'all were wondering. Okay, so I thought I would go ahead and end this off letting y'all know that this is very situational to me and how I'm doing it, because Mac is Mac. So I know that these methods will work on him, and I am doing this alone most of the time. So I have to make sure I am as safe as can be, so I take as many precautions as possible to ensure that I'm safe. I'm also picking a stall while I do this outro. So if you don't think your horse is going to respond to this, or you don't think that this is going to be the best way to do it, don't risk it and just don't do it. This is the way I'm doing it, with a back wound and a front wound on his back legs. So this is the way I'm making it as safe as possible for me. This is also techniques for one person. So if you are not doing it alone, there are other ways to do it. Otherwise, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If y'all have any other questions on ways to do this, make sure to comment it down below. I can answer to the best of my ability. I'm not a vet, so I cannot give veterinary advice on how to treat a wound or anything, but I can show y'all what I'm doing due to my vet's advice. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!